Welcome to episode 161 of The Rewind, a podcast steeped in tradition that Draq and I have completely ruined. Before we begin, we want to take a moment to thank everyone who continues to listen even without Theric's sultry tones or Minus's inability to pronounce names correctly. If you are new to the podcast, feel free to go back and listen to the other 160 episodes logged on the YouTube channel. Then do us a huge favor and click the subscribe button, because we have a whole lot more Pantheon information coming your way in the next weeks, months, and likely years to come. If you didn't know already, we have a Patreon and would love your support. All money goes to the betterment of the show, and none of it goes to Draq to be squandered on his water addiction or video game college football betting. Please click the link below and pick a tier that works best for you. Lastly, a huge thank you to Visionary Realms for putting up with our opinions, both positive and negative. We are both very passionate about this game and want nothing but the best for it, since we think this could be our MMO forever home. Even when we disagree with the choices being made, we hope everyone listening understands that this is a podcast and community that will continue to be a positive beacon and stick with them through the thick and the thin, 247, because they are good people, and just like us, want the best game they can possibly make. All right, enough with the sappy. Now on with the show.
Our gaming weeks.
Gaming weeks.
Woo!
So, Draq, what have you been playing this week?
Oh, I'm kind of ashamed to even admit it, but I actually installed Guild Wars 2 this week.
Womp, 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 wow.
You know, I watched the Drinks and Dragons stream last week with Zelik and you know, Sparrow and Bounty Code, and I just kind of got the itch a little bit. So I put it back on my computer. I don't have the most latest expansion or whatever. I just installed the base game. I don't know if you know this, but I was a day one Guild Wars 2 player, and me and my brother, we installed it. We played it. It was enjoyable. It's not a bad game. I don't think I'm gonna continue to play it a lot, but it's kind of fun to fire it up for a little bit.
Something different. I get it. If you watch Stands in the Fire, be passionate about a game, it's hard not to want to play that game because the man knows his games. So when he likes something, it's probably pretty good.
Also, we're doing the Pantheon thing. It's getting to the end of the season. It's getting harder to be motivated because we're not seeing any new content. It's all old stuff. I'm dedicated this week to grind out to 14 so I can get the fire pet for next week so we can at least look and see what that's like. So that's kind of my goal for this week. Hopefully we'll get there by next week.
I am super ready for the wipe and new content. I don't know about you. I'm really, really ready for it.
Oh yeah, I've been ready. The past ready, overdue, everything you could possibly say. It's time to get into Halnairs and have a ton of fun in there. It needs to happen soon.
I said it on the last episode. I really hate playing a summoner. And again, it's probably just because we're level 10 and the fullness of the class isn't together. But I just am so bored. I really want to play a paladin so bad, and I'm just not. And that makes me sad. Summoner, make Dymlo sad.
Maybe the brilliant idea of doing 6 summoners has not quite panned out how we thought it was going to. And in the 8 weeks that we've done it is not as cool as we thought it was going to be.
Well, we're not really putting time into it either. Like this was kind of our little after dark vacation, if you will. I don't know if that's a good way to put it, but like we just weren't grinding the game, right, to see the end of anything. We were just seeing how broken this was. It was like a little experiment. We kind of did it, and we now know it's broken. Even unless the pet dies, that's got to be a bug. But if it works how it's intended, or what I think would be intended, I still think it's super OP.
I don't know. It's hard to call something OP when the healers can just heal through it all.
Yeah, you mean when we fight a healing cleric mob?
Yeah, when the air pet doesn't have a stun, it's rough.
I'm sure it gets one. I'd be shocked if it didn't. At least if it's not in there yet, it should be. Like, how would you not? What else would you give an air pet? Like, if it doesn't have some sort of stun, I don't know what else.
I mean, it gets a backstab.
Well, that's not great. How do you control that? How annoying was it to send your pet back, like to recall your pet to then move it so it stands right behind the mob and then send it in?
I got nothing.
Yeah, that sounds more annoying than anything. So give me that stun, Joppa. Let me get that stun. Yeah.
What about your week? What have you been up to?
I have been very busy in Baldur's Gate 3 with our good friend Marks. We just hit Act 3, and I am loving this game. I'll be honest, my hot take on this is I'm really glad I waited for them to put in 8 patches to this game, because it seems like it's just gotten better every time. I go back and like look at what the old patches put in. I'm like, oh, this game would have not been as good if it didn't have that patch in there, or like not having this decision that I can make, or whatever the case may be. I just am glad I waited on it. Maybe they went into early access and went out too early. Although the game was basically completed, they're just adding, bug fixes and more flavor to an already robust storyline. This game won our game of the year, or our RPG sweet basketball thing we do every March Madness, and for good reason. It's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable game. There are so many options, 170,000 different endings and different possibilities. Like that blows my mind. And so it truly deserved to win. If you haven't played it yet, do so. They're about to do their last patch. Larian has said they're finally moving away from this game. So like this is going to be it. They're going to put it in the players' hands to mod however they want to, but we're coming down to the end of what Larian is going to put into it, and this is as good as it's going to get. So now's the time to play. If you haven't played it yet, I definitely highly recommend this one. Also, I've been playing a bunch of EQ2. I raid a bunch again. We decided the EQ2 guild on Varsoon has decided to do more days of raiding but less time of raiding. It's kind of weird. So it's worked out real well for attendance. These last couple weeks, we've had anywhere from 1 to 2, sometimes 0 boxes playing. So that's incredible. Like one of the first times we had people waiting on the bench. We haven't had people on the bench waiting to get into the raid for months and months and months, several expansions. So it's nice to have people back, and a full 24-person roster, which is needed, because you can't box these things. It's kind of like raiding in WoW. Like there's too much movement, there's too much going on, too much to follow. You just can't box this stuff. I don't care how good programs are at pushing spell buttons. They can't keep up with what a human can do, as far as like being able to pay attention to the actual game itself. So, it's nice to have a full raiding party again. So doing that on Varsoon. Also been playing the Origins. I'm 38 now, 38 Guardian. We'll see how that goes. The guild is finally getting ready they're asking questions about raiding. I still don't think we've got enough, 45 pluses to get anything really going yet. We need a couple weeks of more grinding. Brutal. I do know this last week, the EQ2 people that are playing on Varsoon are like, oh, the Origins is too hard of a grind for us. We want, pathetic Varsoon experience rates where you can just be 1 to 50 in 2 days. No, this is definitely not that. So if you are into the grind and you want a new EQ2 or a EverQuest experience, because it's all the same lore, I definitely recommend Origins as well. It's grindy. You're going to be in each dungeon for a while, but it's still really good. So come on and join us.
Another amazing week with our amazing adventuring party. Maybe we'll go dig for gold coins in a dungeon, or maybe we'll go out to the plains and look for wildlife. I don't know what we're going to do, but I do know who I'm going to do it with. We're going to do it with Ziplocs, the Darkmare Rogue. We're going to do it with Grogu, the Human Warrior. We're going to do it with Anton Doviditis, the Darkmare Shaman Glyph Keeper. And we're going to do it with Churro Dude, the Gnome Summoner. thank you so much for your support. It allows us to give away some pledges, which we'll get into a little bit later. We love taking the support that you guys are giving us and pumping it back into Pantheon to get new people interested in trying this game. Now, let's get back to the show.
This week in Visionary Realms News and Notes.
All right, Dymlos, we start with the big stuff first. We are breaking news. We are spilling the beans. We got stuff that nobody else has got.
I love this. I love that we get to do this. This is such a cool thing. This is why we love VR so much. Like we're nobodies. We, we just do this because we love Pantheon and we love VR. And sometimes we get a little bit of the benefits out of this. And, it's nothing game breaking or anything like that. But Draq, this is all you. So I'm going to let you announce it.
All right, story time. So, I'm just the guy that asks a lot of questions. And so I'm thinking about all the stuff that's going on in Pantheon, and I'm thinking about Bard and Necromancer coming out. And so I just asked Savanya, I'm like, hey, what about icons, class icons? Because we've got all the other class icons, but we don't have Necro or Bard. Are those made? Are they available? Can I have them? And lo and behold, they had a Bard icon. It's made. So you should be seeing that on the screen right now. That is the official Pantheon Bard icon. As far as I know, no one's ever seen it except for people that work in VR. So congrats, Bards.
This thing is awesome. I would play a Bard just to have this icon. Like, I probably will play a Bard. Let's be honest. I am the real life Bard. So at some point I'll probably make a Bard alt.
Yeah.
But I think this is well done. It looks very similar to, in the same style of the ones that we've already had for years and years. I love the flaming guitar and horns on the bottom. Like, everything's represented, and you even got a sword in the middle in the neck of the guitar. And it's just it looks really, really good. And I don't think they could have done better. Good job, VR.
Pretty awesome. Also, I just want to let you know, I have created a link to all the icons, so the original VR art for all the class icons, and then also I have my colored ones, so I like to spice it up with a little bit of color. So if you like the colored icons a little bit better, I also have those. That link is in the description. If you want to use that for whatever you want to use it for, your own content, have at it. That's for community use. So very cool. Thank you, VR, and Savanya and Robert for letting us use the Bard icon and for letting us announcement. You didn't have to do that. That was so cool, though. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Moving on, we got some new race art. Bronson, on his stream, has been doing a lot of the new races. The races are not going to come out for the Halnir's Cave release. They are going to come out with the goal is for the Necromancer season. So talked to Bronson. I was like, Bronson, hey, can I show some screenshots for the rewind? And he's like, yeah, go for it. So thank you, Bronson, for also letting us use stuff. So here's the pictures of what we got for races so far. Obviously, it's still early, but we have a Darkmere sighting, so that's exciting.
Very exciting.
So what do you think of the races so far, and what do you think of the Darkmere?
Obviously, the ogre is looking real good. Like, that's just in a good place. I think that face just really, that's what an ogre should look like. I love the EQ ogre. Don't get me wrong, but this is really, when you have the ability to put some graphics into it, this is what an ogre really should look like. Very muscular, like not a fatty McFat, but because that just doesn't really exist. Those football players that are huge, yeah, they do have some fat on them, but it's mostly muscle. So yeah, no, I think the ogre is in a real good spot. The Darkmere, all right, those ears look great. I like where it's at so far. It's certainly, it's just in gray box mode. So the full greatness that is Darkmere will come when we get that bluish, blackish skin tone and, start getting some color into it. I think so far it looks good. I like the little bit of thinness, not thin, scales. That's the word I'm looking for. That's around the body, and some gills on the neck. It looks good. I'm interested to see where this goes. If this is just the start, it already starts with good. So great job, Bronson. Thank you for listening to my top 10 or my top 5, and not ruining the Darkmer. I need them to be good. So far so good. I'm very excited for it.
Also make sure, because you want to be on the bleeding edge with this stuff. And so you need to head over to Twitch TV. You need to subscribe or follow to Monkey Pit. And you need to, give Bronson a follow over there so you can keep up with the races, because this is the best time for art. Race art is the best out of all the art of anything that happens in an MMO. So make sure you go over to Bronson's Twitch channel. The link is in the description, so make sure you get over there.
What do you think, Draq? How do you think the Darkmer are looking, especially since that's what you're gonna be playing?
That's just a cheap shot. I mean, I probably will be playing Darkmer, but for a while. But it's whatever. I'm not excited about a fish race, not at all. I typically don't play Dark Elves either, so it's whatever. They look okay. It's not my style of the character I want to create.
Fine, that's fine. Go play your dwarf wizard then.
No. let's not be crazy here. Plus, I think for a while, I want to start in the evil city. I think that's going to be fun, right? So I definitely want to give Darkmer a shot. It would be really interesting if I could make a Scar Wizard. That would be really interesting. That I would have to take a long look at that if that was an option.
Absolutely. That's definitely a race that I'd like to see and play. And, the Scarred is real. I would absolutely make a Scar Bard.
So remember, this week we have the QA. So this is past Draq and past Dymlos, and we're going to pass it to the QA. We're assuming that that's going to be a lot of good information. So let's jump over there.
Take it away, future Draq and future Dymlos.
All right, future Dymlos. The QA is over.
Are we present Draq and Dymlos or future? I don't. The timeline is very confusing here.
We need to get VR on our schedule. Okay, we're kind of big deals. We're approaching RedbeardFlynn status, and
we'll never touch the sun like that. There's no way we'll ever get there. Well, Redbeard is the sun, and we are just mere peasants,
mere mortals. Well, you got to have goals. But anyway, we're post QA. There were ups, there were downs. This was not my favorite QA of all time. I feel like they covered a lot of stuff that we already covered. That's what I honestly feel. I'm
pretty sure that when we were typing to each other after this thing was done, I used the literal words piss vomit. Oh, no. And then I said that I was going to use it on this stream. So here it is.
Congratulations.
This QA was piss vomit.
If you have that on your Static Group Live bingo card, you may now check it off.
It's not that. Well, I will say this. Before we get into these questions, if we ever do another QA, we have got to stop the chat. The chat is, number one, way too distracting to Joppa. And he can't, we just need to be rattling off questions. We can have some fun time between Sav and Joppa, like jokes, talking about chair. That's all funny stuff. I get it. But when people are just blasting questions that have already been answered, either both in this 30 minutes ago or in the FAQ that they posted, then this is just distracting and a waste of time. And two, it's so chaotic. It's not even the questions that were posted in the EA, the hashtag EA. Like, we just did a Chris Rowan off the hip, any question goes. And I guess I get that you want interaction with your people, but when we're trying to get out as much information as possible in a minimal amount of time, this is not helpful. So have to rid the chat. I'm sorry, people that like the chat and like to banter between each other, but maybe Joppa and Sav can't see it. Maybe we all have chat within each other, but they can't see it. I don't know what the answer would be, but it's not productive to the Q&A. That's hot take. Hot future Dymlos take.
See, I don't know. I think that we have entered what I like to call the Wild Wild West era of Pantheon.
Indeed.
Fallen. And
train them if you don't like them. Everything is game.
Everything is game. And so it's fine. I say embrace it. That's their strength, honestly. Like, their strength is that they engage with their community. Their strength is they'll answer any and every question, even if it's a dumb one. Like,
there's so many dumb ones, too. My God.
This is what they do, and this is what they're good at. Maybe they shouldn't do it, but this is what they do, and they do that well. And I know that this wasn't the most informative stream for those of us that closely follow Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, which is what those of us that are diehard fans were kind of wanting. But I think, and we said this a while ago, I think that era is also over. The era of the VR QA dev stream is over. Remember when they used to have it and it was on Twitch, and like they answered, like they broke beans on those Twitch streams, sure. Right? Then there was massive information drops, and they were like on point, prepared, ready to roll, and they were dropping bombs. That is not what's happening anymore. That era over. We're in the Wild Wild West era, and where you get your information in the Wild Wild West era is not from the VR QAs or the VR dev streams. Where you get your information in the Wild Wild West era is from Joppa's streams. That's where all the beans are broken. That's where all the new information is coming from. So, which is great for us. Fantastic.
Super great for us.
Fantastic Stag Group Live.
Makes a great podcast.
Because I know that you do not have 12,
no one does.
12 hours
Who
a
has
week.
20 hours to watch Joppa, and Bronson for that matter too. He doesn't really drop the bombs, but he's the one that's like doing the stuff that I want to see, like building the Dark Myrrh. Like that's the stuff I want to see. So I tune into, sorry Joppa, I love you, but I definitely tune into more Bronson than I do Joppa now.
Well, I have the answer for your question. There's only one person that has that kind of time.
Yeah, that's true.
That's me. I'm the only one.
Well, even you. I mean, you record them and drop them two times the speed.
Oh, yeah.
You're blasting through them as fast as you possibly can.
Absolutely.
So not even you have the time.
No.
And you think you have the time. You don't. You got half the time.
Half the time. But we're making it happen.
And we got to record this podcast.
And we have to record this podcast. So just remember, folks, the Rewind is your lifeline for new Pantheon information, because we are covering the cutting edge, which is the Joppa streams, summing it up in a nice little bonnet for you and giving it to you every week. So make sure you sub.
We're going to blast.
Make sure you follow,
because it's all. Oh yeah, definitely follow. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt that. Please let me take a moment to say follow us, because we need your views. So there's that. Anyway, so this Q&A, we're just going to like rapid fire this, because not only was most of this stuff that we've already heard. If you have been listening to the last 6 episodes, you know 95% of these questions that we've talked about. So we have absolutely done our job, or at least Draq has, because he's the man. I just read off his notes mostly. He has painstakingly had all these answers for you over the last month and a half. And now we're just going to kind of rapid fire. There's a couple new ones. We'll go into the couple new ones. That's fine. But let's just blast through this, Draq, and get this done with, because it's all old news.
All right. Joppa started off with, why QA now? He went into, it's time to take the next step. It's been 10 years. It's been a while. There's lots of new players that they have that they want to bring into the game. And there's also, they feel like they've had a lot of accomplishments, including keeping the servers up for a lot of time. And that, you know what? I sometimes I forget about that. You know, there was a period of time where the servers could only be up for like 6 hours, and then they would just crash. But
it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. But I mean, those servers are rock solid at this point. Like they don't take them down for much.
Well, we haven't seen the 500 people in one zone ever again. Like, and we probably shouldn't ever. Like, that's just absolute stressy mixed stress test. But you know, we certainly don't have 500 people on a server.
I logged in last night and there were 8 people on. So
yeah,
which is
on
fine.
On the one server.
No, there's 2 servers. There's 2 servers.
Oh
up.
yeah, that's right.
And I play on the VIP server, which is a lot less than the other server because everybody wants to play with their other pledge friends. So, and it's literally a week away from the wipe. So to say that interest is low at this point is just how it goes. Joppa also retold us what classes and races were going to be in EA. If you barely. If you don't, he was trying to do it in alphabetical order.
Struggle.
It was a struggle.
And he almost forgot the paladin. Unbelievable.
Hey, you want to talk about the paladin? No one ever remembers Arkai. Like that, is that race even happening anymore? I don't even know.
I don't think so. I've never heard of that race. Is that something that's in Pantheon?
It's only been my class icon for like the last 6 years. But,
oh, I thought that was just an EQ2 erudite that you had put in there.
Fantastic. The classes for EA are Cleric, Direlord, Enchanter, Monk, Wizard, Ranger. Did I skip Warrior? I skipped Warrior. Warrior, Rogue, Necromancer, Paladin, Summoner, and Shaman. The races that will be in EA are Human, Halfling, Dwarf, Ogre, and Darkbeer. Joppa also answered, why no Bard and Druid? Bard and Druid will be, quote, 6 months after EA, hopefully. That's the ETA for that.
Bard hard.
I mean, that's honestly faster than I thought it was going to happen. I figured ended.
Oh, big time. So, they don't got time. They're building an entire world right now. Sorry, Bard and Druids, we don't got time for you. We need content.
Sorry, Venditti, you're out.
Yeah.
They mentioned this before, but we'll say it again. All classes fleshed out, skills and everything up to level 44 early access. There's a new class matrix. It's an early access class matrix, so it's without the Archive, the Scar, the Gnomes, and it's without Druids and Bards. Also, they added, this is new, they added Ogre Necromancer. How do you feel about Ogre Necromancers?
How is that even possible? Ogre too dumb. Like, my immersion. I guess Ogre needed a couple more anything, and they're too dumb to be pretty much anything but a meat shield. So, I guess, okay. Maybe they are. I mean, I guess there are smart ogres too. If we go back into the EQ lore of the ogre, they actually used to be the most intelligent race. They slapped the erudites in intelligence, and then a god put a curse on them and made them all dumb. So I guess maybe maybe I should be thinking out of the box, and maybe there are actually smart ogres. I don't know.
Well,
how do you feel about it?
I feel like this has always been a problem. The evil races are not magical enough and they're not smart enough. And so we have the Scar and the Ogre, which are supposed to be these brute races that can't use magic. And so that only leaves Darkmere as the only evil race that is casters.
Literally does everything.
Yeah. And so you're like, this one race has to do everything because they're the only ones that can cast magic, right? So that's just a bad plan. I think they should have spread it out more. I think they should have made the Scar a magic using class and just left the Ogres as the brute class, and then it would have been fine.
But the answer is to make gnomes evil because they are evil. Those little short bastards are evil.
You know what? That would have been a great idea. No, wait. You could have made gnomes evil, elves, humans, and halflings are good, dwarves are neutral. So you could have made dwarves good, and then Arkai could have been the only neutral race.
Yeah, that'd been good. I'd play with that.
I love it.
But gnomes are evil. I don't care what they say. If neutral is not what they are evil little bastards.
I love it. Let's consider this my
hashtag gnomes are evil.
Consider this the official Static Group Live push to make gnomes evil.
I think we should do that. Let's see if we have any cadence to be able to do that.
If you think gnomes should be evil, put hashtag gnomes should be evil in the comments below.
Get in the comments. Gnomes be evil. Go. I know Dwymble's all over that. He definitely wants them to be evil.
We have some character customizations coming for EA.
Bro. This might have been the one thing that they finally beamed dropped in the whole thing. 1 hour. This was it. This was the one thing that mattered the most and was really of any sustenance. because the rest of this was terrible.
Well, this was the one most direct drop, but I think if you use a little magic, which we're going to get to in a bit, I think that there was some other beans that were also very important. But this is the most like direct thing that they said. Very cool. The character customizations for races absolutely need to be in.
Hair, facial hair, need that.
Yeah,
need it.
Doesn't
Hopefully
sound
hair color as well. Hopefully they just failed to mention that, and we'll also get hair color.
Yeah, they didn't say anything about different faces either, so that's kind of but whatever.
I mean, you can change that with hairstyles, and as long as, I mean, they're all probably going to look real grumpy, but it is what it is.
It's what
I'll take that if I can put hair on, my character, and rid myself of that beard if I want to.
Indeed. The goal is for surface swimming to be in for EA, but not underwater content. Are you excited for surface swimming?
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
But
it's too good. That just, it writes itself, man.
Listen, nobody else may think we're funny, but we think we're hilarious.
I am super funny. I think you and I are very, very funny. So yeah, no, I know Joppa really wants swimming in, but I'm, we'll see.
We'll see.
I will need to be proven otherwise.
There's been a lot of things said. Let's put it that
Yeah,
way.
and it's not. Who cares? I'll walk on water like Jesus. Totally fine. Doesn't bother me at all. I don't need swimming. Even as a dark mer, I don't need swimming. I mean, later, when the game actually comes out, of course. But right now, I mean, there's no underwater content. Well, why do I need to swim? That's not of any importance. So make sure that there's playable content and, hair color. Those are important.
Indeed.
Swimming, not nearly as important.
Joppa wants to let you know that wipes will occur during early access, and they will happen on an as needed basis.
Not new news.
Not new news. He did also say, though, that to not do as many wipes, that possibly they will start fresh start servers as they go along. So that's kind of fun.
Can't believe we're caving into this. No.
It's not fun.
Why on God's green earth would we ever let testers test not the current patch? We're here to test. We're not here to keep our characters till 50. Sorry. Test. You are a tester. You are not a player yet. You are a tester.
I think that when you slap EA on something, that the bar is raised and it's not testing anymore. That now it's early access. It's not testing. Literally, the name is early access.
But didn't we already establish that early access? I mean, literally, Joppa said this is still another testing mode. It's not a soft launch. He literally said those words.
It's not a soft launch, but we're not testing either. We are in early access.
I'm pretty sure he said specifically this is just another testing phase. Like those exact words came out of his mouth.
You're probably right, but I also think that I'm a big proponent that words mean things. And I don't care what you say and how much you explain it, that when you slap early access on something, it means something. It means more than pre-alpha. It means more than seasons. It means you have early access to the game. And so I think they are feeling that, and I think that is part of what this is.
Well, I mean, like this QA, it's just all over the map. So, and I think we're in the we forgot to mention that, but with this question, I'm pretty sure this is when we went to questions that were not handpicked, and this is from polling the audience. So that's why we get a lot of questions that have already been answered, and because people don't read. Number one, they didn't read the FAQ, and people don't listen to the rewind, which is dumb because everyone should be listening to the rewind because we just give you all the news. Like you don't even need to worry about anything else other than tuning into the rewind each week.
You don't have to read.
Exactly. You don't have to read here. We do the reading for you.
Sometimes we get Mr. C to read. I mean, that's how lazy we are.
That's so good.
This is my biggest news of the whole thing. So Joppa, he talked about a possible staggered start for EA. Now, if you've listened to Joppa's stream, you know that he hates this. Like, hates it with a passion. Not quite flying mounts level, but like he wants everybody to start at the same time. He wants, I think, like what I would consider to be a fair start where everybody gets a shot to be first. And that's part of the excitement for him. That's honestly part of the excitement for me. If I wasn't a VIP and I got a staggered start, I'd be pissed. I think this is important, but that led into more comments about how EA was going to be priced. And they're not commenting on an EA price point. They know for sure that if you have a pledge that you're not going to get a sub. So if we infer that means those that haven't pledged are going to have to sub, that makes life really interesting. Also, they said they have, quote, no comment on Steam versus a internal release. That's also extremely interesting because launching on Steam is a completely different animal than launching your own thing. I mean, that would be wild if they did that.
As you said, we're in the wild, wild west, right?
I mean, it would be wild.
Wild, wild Steam. Woo! If you want to get hammered more than there are, I mean, these are the people that want to play Pantheon. You get a bunch of people that are just trying a new game and don't know what an MMO is like. Ooh, God. You want their opinion on your messages, on your comments? Bad idea. Real bad idea.
I think it's gonna be rough. All right. XP rates have been returned to normal. Bye-bye, triple XP. Bye-bye. Loved you.
Yeah, I mean, no, this is good because it feeds in right into the next one. This is one I'm very excited about. So no more everyone gets away with everything. I'm just gonna run into Mad Run, do whatever I want, die 1,000 billion times. Nope, no more. Death penalty is back, baby.
It's back. Is anyone gonna go anywhere and do anything because the death penalty is back?
Everyone's just gonna be killing level 1 badgers till they turn 35.
I'm sorry, I'm level 5 and I can't leave the newbie area because death penalty.
I mean, it definitely makes the game a game again. Like, this was just willy-nilly go, do what you want, go see what the back of Mad Run looks like, go run into the orc encampment at the top of the mountain. But no more do we get to explore stuff because now it has consequences.
Absolutely.
And consequences are fun.
I think this changes two major pieces of the game for me. One, this radically changes gathering. Because
for sure.
Because before you were like, I bet I could get that node. That mom's not gonna aggro me. You just like go over there and inch towards closer to it, and then if the mob aggroed you and killed you, it was whatever, right? It's what, just gotta run back.
Hilarious.
Not a big deal, dude. There's no way I'm running towards that node anymore. Like, it's not even a question. If it's even close, it's not happening. And two, we're gonna have to completely change our leveling strategy about where we go and what we do, because we are not going to be able to sit there and fight in iffy places and die. Like, that's completely going to be out. So, and if for those of you that have been following the channel for a long while, if you'll remember back in, I don't know how many testing sessions ago, but Desrin was constantly at max death penalty, right? Because what happens is you get the, what do they call it? Rested XP? I don't think it's called rested XP. But you get
soul something.
Soul debt. Yeah. So you die and you get this XP debt that then you earn back as you continue to XP. So if you die and you XP for another, let's say 2 hours, and you continue to not die, then you make up all the XP that you've lost. But let's say you die 5 more times, then at some point you max out the soul experience or rest experience that you get, and you start losing actual experience, and that is where it's rough. And it's super easy to die in Pantheon, so there's
unbelievably easy.
There's gonna be people running around with full rested XP / soul memory XP, whatever we're calling it, all the time.
That's great. I'm super glad.
Just you better go to that pug with a bunch of questions. Don't just random pug anymore. Better get
Yeah,
yourself,
no more random pugs.
Better get yourself
have
a
your
static
group set.
Salvaging is in. I don't like what are I don't
Is this
know.
like dredging? Like, am I fishing stuff out of the water? Am I like
No, I think it's more like Guild Wars 2 salvaging, where you have an item and you break it down into mats. So like so I get like a rusty sword and then I use my salvaging kit and it breaks it down into I don't know, iron and copper.
Yeah. Kind of like WoW.
Oh, does WoW do that too?
Magical. Yeah. What was that called? Where you
enchanting
off them, enchanting.
Yeah, disenchanting. Yeah, I did that. That was my thing.
Yeah, that's cool because we don't need to just be selling everything to vendors and weighing us down. We need to be able to disenchant stuff and break it all down. So, nope, I like it. It's good. Hopefully that's how it works and it's not just dredging stuff out of the water.
Your salvaging sucks.
Yeah, that'd be awful. Thanks, Neff.
Salvaging is in, but group gathering is not. One of the coolest, the coolest of all time crafting / gathering MMO thing that in the last 20 years. Like, yeah, this is the best thing, and they don't have it yet. Neff did reply to me because I actually asked this question. Neff did reply to me. He said that they're working on it.
You know what really needs to happen with this? We do need that need before greed window or
we didn't ask that. Why didn't we ask that? Oh, that was such a great question.
They need to figure out how to make it so that only people that have done the mining or the gathering are absolutely in on that box.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be someone who has no skill in it or didn't touch it, like just let it go. No. You have to actively be doing it to be in the role.
What are you trying to say, Dymlos? Are you trying to say that if you're a wizard sitting in the back not doing nothing, that you shouldn't get a roll?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, Draq. Get your ass up and start mining.
Joppa mentioned that special items are going to be moved around. So lots of shuffling, lots of moving the special items around. So when he said this, I immediately thought of Windfeather.
Oh yeah, that thing's gone.
And I don't know, like if it's going to be moved or it's just going to be not dropped off Windfeather anymore. I don't know what's going on, but like,
well, he said it was really rare, right? Like a couple streams ago, he said it'll still be there. It's going to be super, super rare.
But I was also thinking a lot of these mobs have a loot table of like 4 items, right? Like,
that's great.
So I think when he's talking about moving items around, I think he's going to consolidate, or if it was me, I would consolidate rare mobs to, so you have a rare mob and it has a rare drop and a common drop, like 2. Like 2 is the max that you need on a mob, I think. And then you just give us more rare mobs, which he talked about, that there's going to be more mobs in the game. The special items are going to be spread around a lot more.
This is where you and I are going to disagree. I think 3 or 4 is a great number. It makes it more interesting, right? Like it's not just, oh, there's the uncommon drop. Oh, I finally got the rare after killing the same thing 17 times and getting the same item. No, man. Nah. 4 is a great number. And then you have common, uncommon, rare, ultra rare. Beautiful. That's a beautiful setup.
But don't you start to lose like the specialness of the named items if everything is a named item? Aren't we entering WoWland at that point?
Are we not there? That's where we've been since 2004.
Well, I think they're trying to go back. I think that's one of the things they want to relive is items, knowing item names and having items be special.
I mean, we still know the 5 feather spell, don't we?
Yeah, but what else do we know? I know the earring. I know the robe. I guess I know a few things.
There's just not a whole lot of things in right now. It'll come.
It'll come. All right.
And how long did it take for those items to be like the be all end all items, right? It took a while.
Yeah, it takes me especially a while. Like, I don't remember item names for a while.
You don't remember anything.
I don't remember anything. It's true. It's starting to sound like my wife.
Sorry. When I know you this long, you know, it all just vomits out.
Comes out. Last but not least, Joppa said that corpse dragging will be in. Are you excited to drag people's corpses around?
Am I excited to do the actual labor of dragging people's corpses around? No. And that's why I play with a static group that doesn't die. Well, I guess when you play with Random Rob, you die a lot because he's terrible. He better lock his game up. I don't know why I didn't mention this when we talked about Death XP. Random Rob, this message is straight to you. Don't F around. Don't F around. Anyway, back to corpse dragging. Yeah, no, this is good. Especially with the way the body reses on the body, right? Not on the body reses on the corpse, not on the cleric or priest who raises them.
Yeah, it reses on the body, I believe. Or does
Yeah,
it?
so we need to be able to drag the body away from the mob.
You know what? It's been a while. I don't remember exactly how that works.
Wow.
Maybe somebody that pays attention more than we do can say something in chat, or maybe I'll ask somebody, and put it up top. Probably not, because we only have 24 hours before this thing goes live.
Oh yeah, you got some work to do and a lot of cutting. We went way too long on this.
We did.
Remember when we said we were going to rapid fire this and spend 2 hours on this?
Rapid fire is the new 2 hour rewind.
Hopefully you can cut around this and make it sound more rapid fire than we have.
I'll see what I can do.
All right, Draq magic. We're that wizard magic.
Last thoughts. I give you the last thoughts of this section before we cut it off.
I said it at the very beginning. I'll say it again. Piss, vomit.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, this is all great stuff to know. And again, with the Pantheon page and Joppa Beanie, making sure that new people coming in, we say this stuff over and over and over again. It's totally fine, because honestly, people don't get it until you say it 3 times, right? Like, don't you have to write something down or say it 3 times or something like that before you even are able to memorize something? So like, I guess I get this, and I should be less poo-poo about it. Maybe less piss vomit about it. I just, being around for so long, none of this is new, other than, the great bringing death penalty back, the character customization. That's about all I really took out of this whole thing. I even took notes. I took notes, Draq, like physical notes, because I couldn't find where I left my laptop in time. So I got a piece of paper and pencil out and wrote down all these questions and answers that were given, because I was excited about it. And then it was just normal questions that have already been answered like several times over, and so it's fine. So I'm going to try to be uplifting. We went through it all again, and it was fine, good. I'll just try to be better about it. I'll try to have a better attitude about.
Don't make me call RedbeardFlynn back in here.
There was a good conversation about getting Redbeard on pretty quickly to talk about this, but then he put out a video that night and overwhelmed me with his excitement and joy again. And no, it's good. So it's in a good place. I'm more excited about this wipe. Like, I'm ready for the game to be new and fresh again, because it's been old and stagnant for way too long. Like, I know this is like in EQ when you're playing on a TLE and you get to that point where you hit level 70 and then you realize that you've got 9 months of level 70 in front of you, being the same level with a couple new spells and maybe a little bit of new armor. That's where we've been at. And this is going to be like new and refreshing. So I hope it's as new and refreshing as I need it to be, because we've been old and stagnant for way too long. This whole summoner ranger pumpkin season has just not fulfilled anything for me. So again, classes are not content, so I'm ready for new content.
Ready for new content. Let's go. And now it's time for Joppa Says, because everything that Joppa says is gold.
More like a grain of salt.
All right, this week on Joppa Says, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Joppa streams, because we didn't do a rewind last week.
Wow.
Because I was out of town shuffling my children around. So we got a lot of information to cover, but we have consolidated only the most important information down for you.
You're welcome.
You are welcome. You did not have to slave through 30 hours of Joppa streams to get this information. I'm going to chop it down for you. Number one. This may come as a little bit of a shock to you, Dymlos. Joppa, as a gamer, is okay with cash shops.
What?
Now, it comes with some caveats. He doesn't like an in-game UI for cash shop. So he wants it to be on the website, separate from the game itself.
Okay. Yeah, don't mess with my immersion. I like it.
And for Pantheon, he wants to explore cash shops for extra things, right? So things like housing or boats. There was also talk of in-game events. So like in a one-time in-game event would happen, and then prizes would be doled out. Like not like Gulu Gulu where he won, but like you get a prize for showing up, right? So it's Halloween, you show up, you get a skeleton illusion or something like that, right?
Okay. I'm good with this.
Right. So there's an in-game event, you show up, you get the skeleton illusion. Everybody that missed the event, then 3 to 6 months later, that item would then be on the cash shop for purchase. Or maybe you were at the event, but you want one for your alt. So then you can purchase it for your alt, right? So that was something that he talked about as ways to have a cash shop, but not have it be game breaking or have it ruin the game. What do you feel about those types of cash shops?
Is there any chance I can get a houseboat? Is that on the table? Can I get both of those things together and get a houseboat?
I have not heard any information about houseboats, but I absolutely love it. Let's do this.
I need it. So if boats are on the table, we already knew housing was on the table, but if boats are also on the table, which I had no idea, then I want a houseboat. So, Bronson whipped that up for us. I know you're working hard right now, but as we get closer to, release, whenever that'll be, I need a houseboat. So that sounds great.
Are we going to have to like cobble together like Star Citizen type fundage for this houseboat?
Would you pay $10,000 for a houseboat?
I don't think that I would. That's crazy.
Random Rob definitely would.
I mean, let's get the whales together. Let's make this thing happen. Houseboat. Right. Static Group Live houseboat. Let's make it happen.
Can it be like a guild houseboat? Can it be like a cruise liner?
No, I want like a steamboat, like we're going down the river, beep beep.
A steamboat? What? This isn't like Forrest Gump houseboats. I want fancy.
You want like
houseboat.
You want like a cruise ship. You want like the streamlined.
I mean, I don't need a cruise ship for just me. Now that would be like a guild houseboat, but like for me, I definitely want like a yacht. Let me get some yacht.
Joppa was asked about high level play and mechanics. Was asked like where are they at, and Joppa, I thought it was hilarious because Joppa said, well, there are mechanics in the game, and they are happening, especially at higher levels. But there's a lot of players that are just kind of ignoring them. They're not interrupting. They're standing near bombs, and they're damaging the mob even when it has a reflect shield on. So he didn't actually say that. I just added that last part just because,
Oh, nice. I mean, it's, hopefully Joppa, we know Joppa listens to the show. We've confirmed it. Hopefully he's just sending his viewers our way. Just go listen to the last couple episodes of the Rewind where we talk about this ad nauseum, because that's all we see in game. People don't understand how to play the game. So we try to enlighten people on how to be better at Pantheon, get good, if you will. I mean, not that we're that good, but, just don't ruin the whole group by smacking a thing that has a damage shield on it, or standing near a bomb and dying so that we have to pick you up and waste mana and time, all that stuff. So yeah, just send them our way, Joppa. That's all you need to do. You don't even need to answer it. Just go listen to the Rewind is your answer, and they'll be taken care of.
Draq and Dymlos training.
Yeah, I don't have time for that. But go listen to the rewind. I do have time for people to go listen to past episodes.
Sounds great. We have a RedbeardFlynn sighting. RedbeardFlynn asks Joppa, how does questing fit into the game?
Good question, Redbeard.
Yes, because we have the perception system, but how does that like contrast with questing? So Joppa said that they've played around with questing. Originally, he didn't want it to give experience at all, but that felt bad. So now they're kind of adding a little bit of a component of experience, but he doesn't want quests to be the main way that you get experience, because he doesn't want it. He feels like that's a bad system, and obviously with WoW comes to mind with giant quest subs,
Right.
and he doesn't. That's a trap that he thinks a lot of MMOs go down, and that's a bad plan.
We already did that with Vanguard. We don't need to do that again.
No,
it was a failed experiment, and quest hubs out. I like this, and you can give a little bit of XP for it. Hell, you could even give quite a bit of XP for it. I'm fine with that too. If Joppa's against it, it's his game. He has say in that, but doesn't bother me either way. No XP, little XP, lots of XP. Just make sure it's balanced. Make sure if you're doing like an epic sized quest that you get an epic amount of XP, and if you're just taking a semi heavy box to the other side of the Valia, then you
don't get much for that.
Really much any XP at all. Walk this semi-heavy box to the other side. Thank you. Quest done.
Quest completed. Joppa also mentioned that there's going to be quests that are fetch quests, which I like. Right? Like,
yeah,
so you
absolutely.
have like pelt turn-ins and sash shirt turn-ins or shoulder pad turn-ins or, all that stuff. I like going to an area, murdering a bunch of stuff and having like an item that I collect that I know I can go turn it at the end and get a little bit more XP. I think that's a great idea.
25 years later, EQ players are still talking about turning in orc scalps, turning in bandit sashes, all that stuff, the shoulder pads, all of it. It's great. It's absolutely wonderful. It does need to be balanced, but what a great way to get cash, especially when you are just starting out. Like that can fund your next piece of armor or your next spells, especially in Pantheon. Spells are expansive. So you need money. So collecting these things, that's a great idea. I'm all for this. This is a good way to get people into certain zones. Does need to be balanced, but we don't want people to take advantage of that. But like maybe make it no drop, because I hated in EQ where people would just sell them to other players. No. That's
what are you doing to me? What are you?
I know.
Don't even talk like that. Don't even say those things.
No, make them no drop. You did the work. It's your experience. You shouldn't. There's no selling of that stuff. Like you just.
How am I going to have
no drop?
Draq Scalp Emporium if you're making a no drop?
Go back to EverQuest then. This is 2024.
That's so horrible. Joppa's been working a lot on Halners. He mentioned that there is a really special item in Halners. It's a clicky invis item, very similar to the Circlet of Shadows. What do you think about that?
Everyone that made a Necromancer or a Shadow Knight just got a huge boner.
Right.
No, this is good. Problem is that Invis sucks right now. Like it doesn't really even work. So
right.
Like, it's cool, like great item. You definitely want to have that in game. But let's hope Invis works by this next patch.
I mean, I'm guessing if that's going to be their feature item, like that's going to be the 5 feathers of the next season, then I'm guessing they'll probably maybe look at invisible a little bit, or is that asking too much?
I mean, it's one thing to make them invisible to players, but let me like go up to mobs and they can't see me. Make that work. That's great.
If invisible worked, how important would this be for your paladin?
Unbelievably important. I would absolutely need this.
Yeah, it would be huge.
I can't wait. Just you saying your paladin makes me very happy. I'm so excited.
Joppa also mentioned that they're working on for mobs to have the ability to say text as they do skills to telegraph what's happening. Are you for this?
before I answer that, do you think that anybody is going to read what they have to say? Are they just going to say the spell that they're casting? Are they just going to say the skill that they're using?
No, I think they're going to say something like "for the horde," but I don't think it's. I think when he's talking about this, I don't think it's in the chat box. I think it's going to be like a little bubble text on the mob. Like the mob itself is going to have a little bubble text
To tell us to then go look at the target window to see what they're casting?
No, like he'll say "for the horde," and every time he says "for the horde," he's gonna do the axe slash of doom, right? And so you'll know when you see him say the little text that the big hit is coming.
But then it'll be in the cast bar, right?
Right, yeah.
So we can watch it go by and then hit the button at the right time.
Or hit
I guess
interrupt.
that's okay. Yeah, hit the interrupt. That's good too. I just, Draq, your level of reading is not where it probably should be. And it's not just you, Draq. It's everybody. Nobody reads. Like, I love that people want to read the lore and it's all there, but so many people just don't read or pay attention to anything. It's just mash button, kill, kill, kill. So like, I just don't know if this is going to make any difference. Like adding more reading, I don't know if that's the answer.
Well, I guess we're about to find out.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'd love a little bubble to pop up that says, I don't want to download ACT or whatever third-party program just to have something chime in my ear saying you need to cast your interrupts. I don't want that. So if this is that solution, wonderful. I just don't think it'll work for 90% of the people. It'll work for me, Joppa. So keep it in. If it looks good and it doesn't like take away from anything, great. So and maybe it'll be voice acted too. Maybe Phil will do a here comes my giant axe.
You're gonna be so elite by the time this game is done. All the guilds are gonna want you. It's gonna be crazy.
No, none of the guilds want me. I'm way too lazy.
Joppa mentioned that he does not like head starts, but he also mentioned he doesn't make the final decision on that, and he didn't know that in VR's early access QA document
Discord post.
No. The on the website, the question and answers that are on the website, it actually says that people that have pledges will get a head start. So
well, that's nice. The level of communication has always been number one priority. That is absolute par for the course. It is honestly though.
I don't think this is the end of the world. I don't think this is the end of the world.
Honestly, it's a good thing. This is exactly what EQ2 did on Origins. This is my, theory. Not true, but like didn't tell people that we were releasing the game.
Don't do that.
Let people that can get ahead, let people that can't be in those newbie zones so it eases the servers. Like it's not a terrible thing by any stretch of the imagination. So it actually works out in the favor of stability, which is absolutely what I want. I don't want servers crashing when I'm trying to play.
Do you understand that I've never recovered from that? I can't get in. Yep. I can't get into EQ2 because they screwed me on the launch. Like I'm behind now because I didn't have the ability to go hard at the launch, and so I'm never going to recover. I'm out. It's horrible.
It's pretty bad. And then you get real non-committal. I'm in, I'm out. I'm in.
I know.
I'm back in.
I know.
I'm out.
I'm the bad girlfriend of EQ2. That's what.
Or if we're talking about the ins and the outs, it could be a good girlfriend. Wink.
All right. Moving on. Next big dungeons. So we have 3 dungeons that are on the list. We have the Gate. If you'll remember, that's the high-level dungeon that they talked about a long time ago. That's near the halflings, and it's wraiths.
Love it.
We have what we're calling Mangle Rock, which is not Fraggle Rock. It's Mangle Rock.
Down in Mango Rock.
Yeah. I have no clue what that is. That is the first mention of that we've ever heard. And we also have, of course, one of yours and my favorite is Black Rose Keep, which will be the next dungeon that enters the game according to Joppa, and that's going to be after early access starts.
Beautiful. I cannot wait for that. That's the place I've been waiting for this whole time since joining. I missed out on the first run of it. Or did you ever play it? Was it in Greybox?
Yes, I played it. Well, it's pre-Gray Box. I played it pre-Gray Box, and it was really good. It was a lot of fun. It's kind of got a high keep feel. There were a lot of rooms that you had to kind of like pull in and around. It was really good.
Love it. I definitely want that. That's really the place I've been waiting for.
Yeah, very, very fun. So Joppa was doing some sizing and some just kind of giving everybody the scope of how big Silent Plains is. He ran from the Silent Plains where you zone in from AVP all the way to the exit zone to Fairthale, and that took him 14 minutes. That's going straight across. That's not dodging anything.
Is that with Windstrider?
No, he didn't have any run buffs on. He just ran it. No, he also didn't run, or he didn't sprint. So
sprinting.
No sprinting. So he imagined he could cut at least 2 or 3 minutes off if he just sprinted, and you can probably 10 minutes or so, maybe if you had Windstrider and sprinted, or maybe less, 8 or 9.
And then my tamed mount, it'll be 8 minutes. It'll be great.
Yeah, there you go.
No, this is great. This is exactly what we needed. We needed a huge zone that people can really go nuts exploring, right? Like it took forever to get through Throne Fast, right? Like the exploration, the vertical exploration, it took forever. How long? We never got to see that upper tier stuff until this patch, right? Like this
season. Pumpkin.
Yeah, season. Thank you. Yep. Pumpkin, comma. Yeah. So like very excited that we have such a huge zone. I really, really hope that they put as much detail into it as they did Throne Fast. There's just so much that they can do with it, and it's so big, and we need to be exploring Silent Plains for the next honestly year, an entire year of us finding new stuff in the Silent Plains. That has to happen.
Yeah, because could be a while before we get the next one.
Yep, exactly right.
Joppa mentions that they're working on a slot in your inventory for light sources, a torch, a lantern, etc., etc. Is this the death of Torch Wizard? Like, is this it? Is this all the farther it goes? I liked having the torch. I was just getting used to always being the torch guy, and now we're getting rid of it?
No, come on, Draq. You can't be denied your shield so someone can see. Like, just...
This is the only reason people wanted me in a group, because I would hold the torch.
It's not the only reason, but it is certainly the number one reason. Certainly wasn't your critless DPS.
My critless DPS. Hey, we're gonna get to some wizard upgrades here in a minute. Then you're gonna be jealous. Joppa's working on combat changes. Very exciting. The overall scope, just kind of summing it up. I know we've kind of said this before, but people may have not caught it before. They're doing massive combat changes. The idea is that you're going to be fighting less mobs for more experience. Also, we mentioned that, and this is brand new, they are removing diminishing returns on Mesmerize. So that's very interesting. And also, every time any game has ever done this, it's always OP.
Yep.
Not having any restriction on Mez is always a way to break the game. I predict today that this will not last forever.
Yeah. I hope that is not the case, because this just allows people, especially if we do like end up going first to engage that we talked about a couple weeks ago, where you can just grab everything and mez it and no one gets anything. Then there's literally no sharing of mobs. Like now we do have camps because, enchanters can take over an entire camp and just keep everything mez the whole time and keep mobs for their group that way until the other group leaves, gets frustrated, whatever, calls a GM over. It's not good. They're diminishing returns. It's okay in testing, but in the real game, this is not good, especially if they're going to get charm too. Did we not learn from the EQ1 enchanter? It can't be this powerful.
Can't be. I'm 100% with you. Also, Joppa mentioned that they're going to be reducing the amount of mobs that are packed together. So groups of mobs are not going to be 2 to 3, not 6 to 7. Yeah, Mad Run. Yes, please.
I mean, when it's the little babies, do those even count as mobs?
No, I don't think he's talking about the little babies. I think he's talking about the groups of, like the backs of the big spiders.
This is good. I don't need monks to die all the time. They shouldn't be penalized because they're one of the 2 or 3 pulling classes that are out there. And especially with how much Feign Death fails, which is a lot.
It's a
lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So they should not be constantly having to take death just to do their job. So some sort of balance needs to come out with that. And if this is the case, 2 to 3 mobs, perfect. They, even if Feign Death doesn't work, a group can still easily take 2 to 3 mobs. Like, there should be no reason, even without an enchanter, mez and things, you should still, as a group, be able to take 2 to 3 mobs at one given time, even with them all beating on you, even with a solo healer.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Joppa says that combat will be, quote unquote, totally new and fresh.
So fresh and so clean.
And more in line with what they want Pantheon to feel like at release.
Good. That's great. I will believe it when I see it, but I'm gonna be, Pantheon hopeful.
I've not seen any UI elements added for putting things into states. I've not seen a wheel. I haven't seen, how are we doing? Because the UI stuff, if we're going to do this combat thing and we're going to put things in states, I need to be able to tell what the heck is going on. How is that all going to work?
I mean, we're not doing a soft release, right, Draq?
No.
Early access.
No. The combat changes aren't for early access. That's for Hellnirs. 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, we'll see it when we see it.
1 week. 1 week from this premiere.
Yeah.
1 week.
That's wonderful. I can't wait. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's exciting. New stuff for us to explore and break.
New stuff. Wizards, totally new. Just totally new. Wizards are totally new. Just throwing everything you knew about wizards, all gone. Wizards are totally new. First of all, we're down to 3 lines of spells: fire, ice, and shock, or I call it lightning. The arcane line, gone. None of that. 3 lines.
It's already been gone.
I mean,
did you even have an arcane spell?
No, but it was still.
Yeah,
but it was
been gone.
It was on the thing. It had the little purple icon there. It was still giving me hope.
Nope. Sorry, buddy.
It's been gone for a while. Now, instead of filling the pie up, I like to call the foci the pie. Now, instead of filling the foci up to get the full pie, now you start with a full pie, and the more that you cast things, the pie drains. And then when you're down to no pie, if you cast the same type of spell, so if I cast a fire spell, I drain fire pie or fire foci, and then if I don't have any foci left and I cast a fire spell again, I lose 10% of my health.
Okay.
And then or I can sacrifice other foci. So I can sacrifice frost foci to cast fire spells, but it's a 2-to-1 rate. And then if I get down to no foci, then that's when I start sacrificing health. So little reckless wizard time. And Joppa mentions that smart wizards pace themselves, but reckless wizards have lots of downtime. I think we both know what type of wizard I'm going to be.
I'm never grouping with you.
My healers are
learn to be a smart wizard.
My healers are all going to hate me.
They already do, Draq. They already do.
This is gonna be awful.
No one likes an AFK wizard.
Well, because now I can cast all my mana, all my foci, and I'm down to 20% health, and then I can go AFK for like 15 minutes. It's gonna be great.
And then you get low health aggro and you die and you waste everybody's time. Perfect. Yeah.
It's true.
Looking for a group without wizards. Hashtag looking for a group without wizards.
Jub also mentioned that instant casts are being turned into ground target nukes. So that's exciting.
And not for you.
What are you talking about? I love ground target nukes. Little circle on the ground.
Yes. Yeah, that's fine. I like it too, but like it's way more time consuming than you just spamming a button. So overall I'm for it, but like I'm shocked that you are willing to get less lazy on your casting.
I mean, that's true. But here's what I don't understand. If we're doing less mobs, then why would I want to do ground targets? Because ground targets spells are really beneficial when you have a lot of mobs.
Well, now it's 3.
That can be infinitely mezzed with no diminishing returns. Why would I ever use it?
Don't bring that back up. Just don't bring that back up. I don't want to hear that ever again. Please, Joppa, I know you're listening. Please keep this in the back of your brain like progeny. Don't let the diminishing returns go away.
Oh, here's one you are going to like. Health scaling for tanks has been increased.
It's about time. We just get obliterated. So great. We should have more hit points. We should.
Yeah. Joppa said, I think it's like 20% more health for paladins and warriors, and dire lords get like 40% more health because they have less armor. So that's a lot of freaking health.
Yeah, we'll see how that scales. I mean, they get, I guess we get heals. So poor fighters, they get screwed again. No flags,
Sorry.
no healing.
Sorry, warriors.
You're done.
Get out. Get out. We don't want you. Warriors and wizards over to the side. Why don't you group with each other?
Nobody wants to group with you.
Oh. To end the last stream, Joppa attacked a higher level mob, and the mob continued to crit him for more and more damage. And so Joppa mentioned that this is actually a feature to keep people from just jamming on red mobs over and over and over again. So the white mobs, it's not gonna be on them. But anytime you go above a white mob, the mob has a chance to increasingly crit against lower level characters.
This is wonderful news. However, if fighting reds is the only way to get decent amounts of experience, then this is absolute bullshit. It has to be, you have to find the balance so that the even con mobs are what we should be fighting. Until that's the case, and until we get a decent con system put in the game that is understandable for everybody, and not just, I need to go find the nearest red thing with my group and go kill that because red to groups doesn't mean the same as red to solo, then this is not going to work. Like, we're just all going to die and have no idea why we're dying, other than we're just trying to get, good experience and not take 30 years to get one level.
So you're saying you have a slight concern that it might be all stick and no honey?
I mean, it should be all stick. This should happen. Like, I don't think that we should be fighting reds, but there needs to be something like, here is a heroic mob. Here is a heroic even con or a heroic yellow. And this is a group red or yellow or orange or everything in between. It just, yeah. The meta to get fast XP should not be to go kill reds.
Well, we're about to go into Halnairs and hit dungeon mobs, so hopefully that'll fill the void.
Yeah, I mean, it's we'll see how it goes. That's what we're here for. We're going to do our job. We're going to test it all out, make sure that we have our opinions known. And, when we get this all solved and we have perfect Pantheon, then we'll get that houseboat, Draq.
Houseboat! I'm Draq Attack. Stand by for MMO news. Discord. I can't even believe you brought this article up.
Dude, this is a great article. I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you read some of the comments on this thing? Did you actually read the article?
Like the comments from the people in the article or comments from idiots posting?
No, the comments from the people in the article.
I feel like the article people are not necessarily as old as we are, so they don't understand how good we have it with Discord.
I feel like the people in the article aren't MMO players. That's what I feel like.
I mean, they work for a article place that only does MMOs. So
massively online single player MMOs. Is that?
Yeah. Yep. MMOSOP. Whatever. I don't know.
Anyway, the title, we've gotten off course. You've already got me off course. The title of the article was what, Dallas?
Has Discord helped or hurt MMOs?
I mean, first of all, Ventrilo, TeamSpeak, all that stuff has been around since almost the very beginning. Our entire MMO career, and I was at the very beginning of EverQuest, and maybe like a year after that, we had voice chats.
There was not a need for it right away because I definitely learned how to speed type playing.
Absolutely.
EverQuest. So there was a little window where it was just typing,
but it was super small. It was super small.
Yeah, but not everybody had TeamSpeak or whatever all those other Ventrilo. That brings back the memories.
The Vent.
That was like cutting edge MMO player.
We were cutting edge. We were blazing.
But also not everyone could hook up with everyone. Like if some people had, well, no, it was always one at the time, like one piece of software at a time. But like not everyone wanted to send out your information to everybody. So there was still a lot of typing. Like it wasn't always jump into the pug. Okay, I'm in this Discord. Like it's so easy to just be able to jump in whoever's Discord. It was not that way with TeamSpeak. You had to like set up the
it was brutal.
Send it out. It was not as easy. So, in that case, Discord has helped because people are real bad at MMOs. So being able to voice chat, it makes, giving out instruction a lot easier rather than typing it out every time. So yeah, they did kind of, I don't know if they poo-pooed on it. They just didn't really know what it was like before voice chat. So I understand where you're going with this. Like, yeah, they're probably not as old as we are. They didn't understand what it was like to play an MMO without voice chat. But Discord has grown the MMO, honestly, to me. Like it's now borderline social media. I know people think Discord is social media. I don't treat it as such. I just treat it as a place where I can go get the information of my guild, or I don't want to see people posting pictures of their animals or their foods.
You love it.
Of that.
You love it.
I hate it. That's why I stopped being on Facebook. I hate social media. I don't want to see any of that bullshit. I just want to get my information, send out the information I need to give to my guild mates if there is any. Hopefully there's not, but like to keep everybody in line and in order and on the same page. Discord is beautiful, but yeah, the fact that it's kind of turned into this borderline social media, it's fine for some. And I'm glad that I can ignore it on my end, right? Like I don't need to see all that stuff. You make a channel you call it Facebook bullshit, and I immediately ignore it. So it totally is fine. I love it. The people that want it for the social media aspect of it, great. Totally great. I'm glad that you can use it. I don't want any part of that.
Here's my thing. You're looking at this the wrong way, massively OP. Discord is the greatest gift to MMOs ever.
Couldn't agree more.
Because Discord has completely taken one aspect of MMOs and made it amazing, and you don't have to develop for it anymore, which is guilds. Our guild is totally through Discord, and we can do tons of amazing things. We can have meetups, we have movie nights, we have activities. Like, it's great for scheduling, it's great for posting things, it's great for keeping everyone involved. That stuff used to be all in game. I don't need any of that stuff in game anymore. I don't need developers to spend tons of times making guild functions. All I need in game for guild functions is I need to be able to put my guild name on, and I need to be able to put something on my cloak. That's it. That's all I need. Everything else you don't even have to deal with, because Discord already does it, and they do it better. And for the love of all that's holy and good and right in the world, please never, never, never put in-game voice talking in your game. Don't ever do that, because Discord is better and will always be better. Don't do it.
Yep, totally agree. The only thing I do miss going into a pug group and not having to listen to people. Like, I don't want to meet new people through Discord.
I'm an MMO player, and I don't want to meet new people.
Yeah, I don't like people in my MMO.
You should go work for Massively OP.
I absolutely should. No, I mean, it's totally fine typing. Like, if that's how I meet you first, I'm totally fine. And then eventually we work up to the voice chat. But like, it's like meeting someone for the first time and telling them your deepest, darkest secret. Like, that's not how that works. Let's group, let's type it out. And if you're good and we have a good time and we have some good conversation in our downtime, because there should be downtime in an MMO, it's not just constant murder, then maybe we think about, hey, let's jump into a Discord together, and I hopefully don't get turned off by how weird your voice is.
So you're saying Discord is the second base of MMO guildies?
Yes, correct. That is 100% correct.
All right. Hey, I'm just trying to figure out where you're at. That's fantastic. All right. Community calendar. We have got a lot going on this week. First of all, let's do the weekly shows. Monday, we got the After Dark. This will be the finale of the Six Summoners. It's been a little rocky. It hasn't gone how we thought it will, but we're excited to see this chapter close and move on to Halner's Cave. Tuesday is Drinks and Dragons. That's Zelik and the Guild Wars 2 crew. Make sure you check them out if you haven't already. That's a ton of fun. Thursday is Chaos Theory. They are doing a grading stream. If you've never seen one of the grading streams we've done, they are super fun. They're going to grade WoW Ascension. So make sure you get over there, watch that grading stream. Friday, Bros Before Foes. Abiotic Factor. You've probably never heard of the game, but Mr. C and Gulu Gulu are hilarious, so you need to make sure to check them out. And then, of course, Saturday will be another rewind. Now, here's where we get the exciting stuff. After the rewind will be the launch of the next season of Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, the Halner's Cave, the complete wipe of every character. Everyone's starting over. So, Static Group Live is going hardcore. We're calling it the Triple H Pantheon stream, Halner's Hardcore Hangout. And we are going to go Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 different streams. We're going Saturday, right after the rewind. Well, mostly after the rewind. We may need a few seconds to get organized, but right after the rewind on Saturday, we're going to be streaming right here on Static Group Live. That's going to go all the way to midnight Eastern Standard Time. Then on Sunday, we're going to be back 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all the way to midnight again. That's going to be over on Mr. Cottleshire's Twitch channel. So, and all those details will be posted in the Discord. Then on Monday morning, we're going to be going 9 a.m. bright and early to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's going to be over on Gulu Gulo's Twitch channel. And then Monday night, we're going to finish off 5 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time right here on Static Group Live again. It's going to be super fun. We're going to have a static group the whole time. We're going to have a paladin, a shaman, an enchanter, a wizard, a summoner, and a ranger. That's going to be our 6-person static group. We're going to get to Halner's Cave as fast as possible and just have a fantastic time with Pantheon. So make sure you tune in. All the details will be in the Discord and also just on Twitch itself. So just turn on the Twitch and look for Pantheon and you will find us. I almost left off one of the most important parts. We're giving pledges away. One $50 pledge for every Triple H Pantheon stream. So that's one Saturday, 1 Sunday, and 2 on Monday. So get in there, get your $50 pledge. Remember, this pledge gets you into early access. So join the stream, get your name in the drawing, and let's have a ton of fun. I will see you on the streams. All right, top five. I don't even know why
that's part of the whole show.
I don't even know why we do top fives anymore. I mean, I've destroyed you in every single top five we've done. So, I mean, it's got to get a little old for you, right?
Here's what boggles my mind about the top five. We get to this part of the live episode that we do on Saturdays, and this is when the majority of people drop off. They don't like, but this is the best part of the show. I don't like all the Pantheon news is great and all, and don't get me wrong, you know, we want to keep people informed, but like, this is funny. We do a good job on this, and I am sad that people drop off at this point, like in the mass, like cuts in half. People are like, no, top five, fuck this, I'm out.
We do one thing well. It's top five.
This is it. The rest of it is just the icing on the cake. This is what you should come for. Come for the top five. Stay for the ridiculous amount of Pantheon news.
100%. All right, let's start it off. Number 5, of course. So I messed up my number 5, and I'm just gonna give a shout out to Grogu right off the top, because I put Grape Fanta. Now, if you don't know, in the West, out here on the West Coast, the lonely West Coast, there is no Sunkist. It's all Fanta. So
really,
it is. It's all Fanta. So when he put,
sorry to hear that.
So I forgot about Sunkist. I even forgot it was a thing. And so he put Sunkist Grape on his, and I was like, oh, Sunkist Grape is totally better than Fanta Grape. So I changed it.
Now, I like Fanta Grape. It's super good. But Sunkist, you are right. Sunkist Grape is better.
Yes.
Sunkist is a superior choice in the grape sodas, which is one of my just favorite flavors of all time. Grape, pretty much anything.
Grape,
I'm down.
Yep.
So
Grape Ape.
This is a good choice, Draq. Good job.
All right. What about you? Number 5.
Number 5 for me is specifically Barks root beer. No other root beer will ever come close to Barks. And do you know why, Draq?
Yeah, no clue.
Because Barks has bite. Barks has bite, which means Barks is the only root beer that has caffeine in it. Did you know that?
Not a clue.
Yeah. So my list of beverages all can have caffeine in them. I don't drink soda unless it has caffeine. So that's like the stipulation for me. It has to have caffeine in it. Barks is the number 1 root beer because it has caffeine in it.
Number 4. So I am much less choosy when it comes to my root beers.
Shocker.
So I just put down root beer because I don't really care. Any root beer that I see in the thing at the gas station, I just grab it. Number 4.
That's gross. That's absolutely gross. First off, like A&W, their cream soda is awful. Their root beer's okay.
No.
Not as good as Barks.
I don't do anything cream
awful.
soda. Nothing cream soda.
Some cream sodas are good.
No,
some cream sodas
gross.
are good. I know that's not root beer. I get it. But I'm just saying, like, you can't just go in willy-nilly and grab whatever root beer. Like, I've done that so many times. Like, oh, it's a glass bottle of root beer and it looks like it's old-timey and it's got to be good. Nope. Not all root beers are made equal. That is absolutely the truth. You cannot just put root beer.
I'm the guy at the grocery store that sees those bottles in the aisle of weird root beer flavors. And I'm just like,
it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
You can absolutely get a misser on that.
Yeah.
And so that's why you can't just put all root beer. You need a specific, old timey brand of root beer.
No, just root beer in general. Number 4.
Those things can get real spicy. Real spicy. All right. Number 4 for me is a discontinued soda, unfortunately. I really, really love lemon lime soda, Sprite, 7-Up, all those different light, crispy, clear lemon lime sodas. But the problem is, just like I said before, 7-Up, Sprite, they don't have caffeine in it. So I just refuse to drink it. I love it. I love the taste of it, but so refreshing, but it doesn't have caffeine in it. So I'm not going to waste my time drinking a caffeineless soda. It's just bullshit. So number 4 for me, discontinued, is a brand called DNL. Have you ever heard of this brand before, Draq?
Not a clue.
Yeah. So if you're all looking at it on the screen and it says DNL, if you flip DNL upside down, what does it spell?
Oh my goodness. I can't do this in my head. Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah. So everybody at home and poor Draq who can't flip, just flip your head upside down.
I'm about to turn my monitor. I'm about to flip it upside down.
Yeah. Just do it. Just do it. So what it is a version of 7-Up. If you turn DNL upside down, it's 7-Up. Do you see it?
What?
It's 7-Up with caffeine.
It's blown right now. Oh,
yeah, right. This got discontinued in like 2006 or something like that. It did not last long. And I was so sad because finally I had a clear lemon lime soda that had caffeine in it. DNL, gone, long gone. I'm so sad it's gone. I would love for someone to make a lemon lime soda that has caffeine in it. I know what people are saying out there, but Dymlos, Mountain Dew is a lemon lime soda. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
That is not lemon lime. That is Mountain Dew.
Get it out.
So yeah, get it out. That is not the same. I want Sprite with caffeine or 7-Up with caffeine. Then I'm happy. And I was happy for all of like 3 years. And then they canceled it. So here's to you, DNL. Big time shout out. You will be missed for forever for as long as I drink soda. DNL number 4.
Speaking of light and refreshing, how about Squirt? Love that Squirt. Love that lemon lime flavor. Love it just like that hit when you drink it. Like it's just like boom. Yeah, it's good stuff. Squirt.
It's real good. I think I was turned off by Squirt in my youth because I drank a Squirt once and it almost felt like it had pulp in it. Like when you drink orange juice and there's like little pulps in it. I think I had maybe some sort of Squirt, or maybe someone put juice into my Squirt when I was drinking it and it ruined Squirt for me. So I just can't drink it. It's just not very good to me anymore. Number 3, sugar, high fructose corn syrup extraordinaire, wild cherry Pepsi. Pepsi already is great, but when you throw that delicious, delicious wild cherry on top of it, it becomes the number 3 best soda of all time. Wild cherry Pepsi, chef's kiss.
I don't know what's going on here, but we actually agree on a lot of these. And out of all the wild cherries, Pepsi is the best. I am a Coke drinker, but the wild cherry Pepsi is better than any of the cherry Cokes or the wild cherry Cokes or whatever.
Totally agree.
I'm not sure why, but it's the best. It would
sugar.
Wild cherry Pepsi would be number 6 on my list.
Oh, that's your honorable mention as wild cherry Pepsi?
Yep,
okay.
Honorable mention, absolutely. Number 2 for me, of course, Coke. You got to go with the Coke. Like, Coke is just like...
good standard.
It's the gold standard. So you just have to... Yeah, you just got to give it up to Coke. It's been around forever. Remember when they tried to do new Coke and everybody flipped out?
Oh,
like
that
revolted.
was so bad.
And everybody's like, what are you doing? You're about to kill the golden goose.
So I have an honorable mention as well that I'm going to mention before my number 1, but I was reading up on soda, and this was like a big thing. Like, so there were the person who was running the new Coke thing was like looking at words across the world, and the number 2 recognized word all throughout the earth, not just America, the earth, was Coke. Unbelievable. And he was about to ruin this already branded brand. I know that's a weird thing to say, but like, what were you thinking? Why would you ruin the staple of your entire franchise, right? Like your entire empire. You're about to blow it up. What a dumb idea. New Coke, I'm glad you are a thing of the past. Just that was real dumb. So no, but Coke, yeah, can't go wrong. If I can only have a Coca-Cola, that's my only choice. I don't mind drinking it. Number 2 for me, this speaks back to our early gaming days, Draq. This list would not be complete without Mountain Dew Code Red being on this list. Number 2, Code Red, number 2 best soda of all time. I love Code Red. Mountain Dew's great too, don't get me wrong, but when they came out with Code Red, and You know why Code Red is so much better than regular Mountain Dew, right, Jack?
Like 4 times the caffeine.
Close. It's like twice the sugar. It has double the sugar content into it, almost double the sugar content in Mountain Dew. And you're like, oh my God, how is that even possible? Because Mountain Dew already has a ridiculous amount of sugar in it. Nope. Code Red. Look it up. It's unbelievable. It's so delicious, though. That cherry plus that Mountain Dew flavor. I don't want to say citrus. I don't want to say lemon lime because it's none of that. It's Mountain Dew flavor plus cherry equals delicious. Number 2, Code Red.
To follow that up, the number 1 soft drink, not even a contest. There is nothing else. Of course, it's Mountain Dew. Dymlo's already mentioned back to our gaming days, so I'm gonna do a little story. So we had a dorm room and we were gamers, and we had like a computer room in our dorm room set up, and we would drink an ungodly amount of soft drinks. But
I don't know where we came up with that kind of money to drink that much.
I have no idea. It was cheap back then. It's not 2024 prices. But so we drink the cans of Mountain Dew or Code Red or whatever, and then we'd stack them on the wall. Do you remember this, Dymlos?
So why did we do this? We just had a mess later. Why wouldn't we just clean it now?
We stacked it like all the way up this 6-foot wall, and then we started making columns.
So stupid. We were so dumb back then.
And it stank, man, because like there's always a little bit of sugar, that you don't quite get drank in the bottom. And after like 3 weeks, like it's like, I don't know.
It gets real nasty.
I don't know how any of us ever, went on any dates or had any girlfriends.
I can't believe our dorm mother didn't walk into that and see, oh my God, you idiots are just going to have constant bugs everywhere.
I don't know how we didn't have ants.
Out. She must have never walked into your room.
Dude, she never did. We were the only.
Must be nice.
We were the only people on the whole floor that weren't doing absolutely just crazy things. So she was like, whatever.
True. You guys were the sane ones.
Yeah, we were.
Except for the bug infestation coming from your room. Gross. All right. Number 1 for me. Actually, I did mention that I had a honorable mention. And you may not know the soda, and many people out there might not know the soda. And like I said, I was looking up the history because I love the soda. It's another discontinued soda. It didn't last long. It was by Coke. It was called OK Soda. Do you remember this?
No, I missed all the weird sodas. I guess.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, I looked it up, and it only went out to like 18 cities. They didn't send it to the nation. It didn't even make it past the initial testing, and Omaha was one of those 18 cities that it went to. But this was like a hybrid of like, as we talk about wild cherry Pepsi, it was like a fruit punch Coke. And it was so good. It was so good. But what was even better about it was the marketing and the advertising of it. They tried to like pitch to these Gen Xers that were coming up in the world that already knew that they were being marketed to. So they just took it a step further and said, we know that you're already being marketed to. We don't need to, make our flashy, crystal clear Pepsi or anything like that. This is just OK Soda. It's OK Soda. And it was so genius. And it was kind of the same time that New Coke was coming out and all that stuff. But yeah, so honorable mention, OK Soda. Miss you. It didn't last long like that. But yeah, if you go back and look it up, the advertising was awesome. Marketing was very cool. And I loved the taste of it. It was my soda of choice back in those 18 months it was out. So honorable mention, OK Soda. Number 1 drink, though, has been with me since I started drinking soda, and that is Diet Coke. I love Diet Coke. This is the drink that this is the soda that you can drink at dinner. You can drink it as an off, the thing that refreshes your thirst. It's the be all end all of sodas. You can have it anytime, anywhere. It pairs well with everything, and it's the perfect soda. And it's 0 calories. Diet Coke, number 1. Delicious.
This is what ruined your list, by the way. Diet Coke.
Just because you can't handle a diet. None of your sodas even had diet in it. That's fine. If you're addicted to sugar, totally fine. But Diet Coke is just like, it's like when you go to eat sushi and there's the little pile of ginger on the side. It's like the ginger where you're masking the flavor, or you're trying to get rid of flavors in your mouth so you can have a full taste.
Masking.
Shut up. No, but you can also drink it on its own. Like I drink Diet Coke all the time. I used to go through a 24 pack of that shit a day.
I'm aware.
I was much unhealthy back then, much more unhealthy than I am now. But yeah, I would drink that stuff like water. I didn't drink water for a long time because I just drank Diet Coke. That's where I got my hydration from. So, and it's still with me. I still love Diet Coke. I will never leave you, Diet Coke, and may you never leave me.
All right, well, let's take a look at these other two hopeless soft drinkers. Why don't you break down Ziplocs and Grogu for us?
I'm not gonna lie, these lists are pretty rough. So if we
I mean, Grogu's got Diet Coke as number one, so I'm with you.
Well, I mean, that's like the only decent one of the lot. Of all 10 of these drinks, let's just break them down one by one. I won't poo-poo on all 10 of them, but I'm going to poo-poo on a bunch of them. Let's look at Ziplocs first. Jolt soda. Okay. Totally get it. It's the most caffeine of any soda that's out there. They don't really even make it anymore. Sometimes I see it randomly, which is kind of weird. So someone still makes it to this day. I'm almost certain, although I haven't seen one for a while. But the only reason to drink this was to get more caffeine than normal. And honestly, it's not much more caffeine than the number 2 caffeinated soda, which is Diet Coke. Ring-a-ding-ding. So Jolt tasted like ass, total ass. And the only reason to drink it was to get the caffeine. So how this makes a top 5 is, unless you're just like a caffeine hound like me, then this doesn't belong on any list because it tastes so bad. It doesn't even taste like a cola, even though they call it Jolt Cola. It's bad.
It was $19.99 energy drink. That's what it was.
You're right. Now that we've got energy drinks, Jolt is just out. So all the energy drinks, even Red Bull, taste better than Jolt because Jolt tastes like flat Coke. Ugh. Anyway, his number 4, Big Red. This so weird that this drink pops up so often because nobody has it. Like, I know we have it here in Nebraska, but like you find it very few places. Like I can't travel far away from my town and see a Big Red, but we've got it at the grocery stores. Nathan's wife loves this soda. This is her favorite soda, and it does not taste like the gum. It is not a cinnamon cola. It's just red. That's the best way I can describe it. It doesn't really have a great flavor, but it's on both Grogu's and Ziplocs' list. It's pretty gross though. It's almost like drinking not the Big Red cinnamon gum, but it's almost like drinking bubble gum. It's so like sugary and gross. It's kind of disgusting. So have you ever had a Draq?
Yes. It's like really flat, bad tasting Coke. It's awful.
It's not good. But speaking of Coke, is number 3 Mexican Coke. This is just Coca-Cola that is made from cane sugar rather than high fructose corn syrup and comes in a glass bottle. So really, it's not necessarily the taste or anything. It's just the experience of a tiny glass bottle and using real cane sugar rather than fructose corn syrup, which is certainly better. No one should be drinking high fructose corn syrup. That shit is terrible for you. Soda drinkers everywhere, if you can find the real sugar version of your drink, do it. You should not be drinking high fructose corn syrup. But yeah, number 3 Mexican Coke. Okay, yeah, Coke is a great soda. The flavor is great. But then his number 2 is your number 4, which is absolute bunk.
Yeah,
because not all root beers are the same. No, this is stupid. You name a specific root beer. If it's like fancy root beer, like maybe IBC or something old timey in a glass bottle, great. But if you're just splotting off root beer, there are some really gross root beers out there that taste way too much like they put too much ginger in it, or it just is spicy. It's so spicy, and I don't like it. So not all root beer is the same. Even though it's a very strong flavor, it's not the same. So I don't know how you get away with it.
I mean, I just win. That's what I do. I just win.
Oh my God.
I say root beer and then I win.
Your lists are so terrible. Number one on Ziploc, Dr. Pepper. You can't go wrong with this. The problem with Dr. Pepper and why it doesn't go on my list, it's okay. Do I drink Dr. Pepper? Sure. But it has so much going on. And I know that's what that's its charm. And that's how it advertises itself. It has 32 different ingredients to make the flavor. It's gross. It's too much. I'll drink it if it's the only thing. But if there's something else, I probably want that, unless it's Diet Pepsi is my only other choice. If it's between Dr. Pepper and Diet Pepsi, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper because Diet Pepsi is totally gross. But it's not what I go to. It's never what I get at a gas station. If I'm running into a gas station to grab some soda, it's never Dr. Pepper, ever.
It's a really good thing that you didn't go in depth on each one of these choices like you said you were going to.
I still got 5 more to go. Well, technically 4 more to go. Well, no, because you said Sunkissed Grape already, so that's good. We can just pass over that. We do agree, Sunkissed, best flavor. Fanta, he specifically says the European versions. I have, I've been to Europe, but it's been a while. I don't remember the Fanta being different, but only because in Europe that's their kind of drink of choice. Like they drink Coke and they drink Fanta. That's about it. They don't have the diversity of sodas that we have. It's literally, here is your Coca-Cola and here is your Fanta. If you want anything else, here is some bubbly water. That's it.
I picture Grogu saying it like this. With his pinky up. I drink the Fanta orange, but only from Europe.
If it's not the European Fanta, I don't want it.
I look down upon United States Fanta orange. Away with you.
That gross United States Fanta. It's so bad. Yep, I agree. But then his number 3 choice just backs that exact up. Blackberry bubbly?
This is not a soda. Not a soda. Not a soda.
It's gross.
I'm glad we finally agree on something. It's made.
Hey, look at us, Draq. We did it. It's like it's soda water with a little blackberry back flavor. It's like someone drank a blackberry soda and then urinated it out, and then they carbonated that, and that's what blackberry bubbly is. So absolutely gross.
That's 100% it. You just nailed it.
Sorry, Grogu. I'm sure you don't drink urine, but your choice is on here, especially with Big Red being number 2. So gross. But his number 1 is definitely the number 1 soda of all time, Diet Coke. This is where Grogu and I will bond forever. So Diet Coke brothers for life, Grogu. Just the rest of your list is pretty bad except for number 5.
Gross.
Hey, look, it's the end of the show. Draq and I made it through another show. Thanks for listening, people. Next week, we will be back with whatever.
All right, the end. I'm just really, future Draq knows a lot more than we do right now, but I'm really excited for all the knowledge that we're going to get.
I hope this Q&A is good. I hope the section that we put together was fantastic and not just like we were a month ago where it was just complete distraught. So, and we have to get RedbeardFlynn back on to get us back
more
to
therapy. If this QA is less than 60 minutes, then RedbeardFlynn, you might as well just book yourself for next week right now. I'm just putting that out there. Q&A therapy. Yeah, I think that could be the name of our next podcast. This could be great.
I love it. Love you, Redbeard.